Writing standard operating procedures and job description is difficult because you have to summarize the responsibilities of the position you're trying to fill while also capturing the spirit and energy of your organization. Utilizing a pattern in this video will help you format your document consistently and guarantee that no vital information is missed. However, since these documents were worded specifically for an organization I work in, you are in liberty to revise them according to your needs and business requirement. The purpose of this video is to provide details that are important to comprehending the nature, degree, and scope of the work performed by job holders in the positions being mentioned. Let us start with procedure, then the essential functions of various roles. Cycle counting method. 1.1. Count once a day, ideally in the morning before picking but after put away is finished. There are no outstanding orders or unprocessed receipts. 1.2. Double-check that all things have been put away, that the receiving floor is up to date, and that all receipts have been confirmed. 1.3. Count A items most frequently, followed by B items, and then count C items the least often. Or conducted count when a specific item undergoes change or has movement. 1.4. The regional manager, inventory controller, or warehouse in charge may be consulted or should determine by item class A, B, C, etc. how often items are to be counted. 1.5. The differences will be reconciled by the storekeeper in consultation with the inventory controller. 1.6. Check first if the item exists in many locations outside the count zone before quantity modifications are performed. If an item is stored in numerous locations, the count must be accurate at the end. 1.7. Before authorizing an inventory change, the area manager or inventory controller should analyze major variations in quantity or monetary value. 1.8. Keep records of cycle count activities for at least 1 year in an active file maintained by the store or warehouse. 1.9. Conduct investigations when errors keep cropping up. Goods receipt method. 1.1. Receive deliveries from various suppliers/stores and stage for receiving. 1.2. Conduct an immediate visual examination of the packaging of each received item, looking for obvious damage. If such damage is found, the store will hold the driver and notify the in-charge if an immediate refusal should be made. 1.3. In the case of projects with stricter rules for receiving goods, request the support of the end user or a representative from the project to inspect and verify the supplies at the time of delivery together with the filled-out request for inspection form. 1.4. Ask for delivery documentation like delivery notes and invoice as primary step in goods receiving. Do not receive any materials in the absence of these important documents, otherwise, seek for the assistance of the warehouse in charge or supervisor. 1.5. Check the delivery documentation against the purchase order for each shipment to ensure that the materials being delivered are correct as ordered. 1.6. Use the checklist below when receiving goods. Conduct a thorough inspection for each package and check details against the purchase order or SAP entry. Correct quantity received. Correct items received. No leaks found and so on. Items received on time or late. Obvious damage to items inside the packaging. And adequate expiration periods. The truth of the packaging conditions as required. 1.7. Notify QC to check delivered item under a new brand name or specification. Once the new brand passes the QC, contact SAP coordinator to register the item in SAP with a new material code and the new description. 1.8. Sign the receiving documents provided by the supplier or shipping company and stamp, received with the date received. Inform the delivery driver to leave once items are accepted. 1.8.1. If the supplier fails to provide the necessary documents, contact the supplier to request that original copies be sent to the warehouse for its files while pending the receipt of goods. 1.9. Note any problem and alert purchasing department. PD will advise the store as to what actions to take. In the interim, the goods in question must be segregated from accepted items and marked or tagged as pending GR or similar language. 1.10. Determine if the received goods require additional precision inspection by a supervisor or QC. If so, send these items to higher authorities for dimensional or precision inspection. 1.10.1 The store supervisor, in charge or QC will notify the storekeeper of the results of the inspection and allow release if they are acceptable. If the items are unacceptable, follow the controls as set forth in the GRN procedure. 1.10.2 Tools received with calibration certificates must be submitted to QC or store in charge for inclusion in the calibration records prior to delivery to the projects. 1.10.3 Management will use information provided by the purchasing department on supplier incoming inspection results to re-evaluate vendors and adjust supplier ratings accordingly. 1.11 Stage goods for routing to the appropriate location, either to inventory or directly to the other stores. 1.12 Receive goods in SAP following the steps as set forth in creating GR print and sign material receipt form generated after SAP goods in. 1.13 SAP goods receipt. 1.13.1 Verify unit prices and make sure the invoice total is correct. 1.13.2 Make any necessary modifications and verify them with the procurement team and the supplier. 1.13.3 Document errors or inconsistencies should be reported immediately to procurement and the supplier so that they can be corrected within 48 hours, and to finance so that payments to the supplier are halted until the issue is resolved. 1.13.4 As soon as the delivered goods and documentation are entirely satisfactory, the storekeeper should enter just those items that have been accepted into the system, SAP/ERP, following the steps below. Go to SAP Migo. Choose Goods Receipt. Choose Purchase Order. Type Purchase Order in the box next to Purchase Order. Fill in the delivery note details. Write short text under the delivery note details. In the Details section, type the actual quantity delivered, short details, then tick the box to confirm. Click Check. If the document says OK, click Post. Attach all documents pertaining to this delivery, then save. 1.13.5 The purchase receipt should be printed and attached to the supplier invoice and delivery note and keep them in the file. 1.14 Coordinate with Warehouse SAP Team should items in SAP records is unknown or marked with U, F, or A, and if a new item needs a material code. 1.15 Mark items entered into inventory with the material or item code and description, if the packaging does not already include this information. 1.16 Update bin location in SAP should there be interim, overstock, or changes in location. 1.17 Handle all items carefully, in a manner that will not cause damage or deterioration. 1.17.1 Only certified forklift operators are allowed in all materials movement. 1.18 Label broken down packages or repalletized items so that split items are readily identifiable. 1.19 Prevent unauthorized persons from entering or removing items from inventory. 1.20 Avoid releasing items prior to receiving inspection. 1.21 Label items with a shelf life sticker or expiration date based on the manufacturer's product guidelines, unless such a label has been affixed by the manufacturer. The warehouse management may override manufacturer guidelines for expiration. Goods issue method. 1.1 Only the storekeeper and above him shall be authorized to issue goods from the storeroom. 1.2 Issue inventory items should only be against material requisition form prepared and signed by project managers or anyone authorized by the project managers. 1.3 The store should be made known about who can sign and authenticate requests. 1.4 Specimen signatures of all persons authorized to sign requisition form shall be supplied to the store. 1.5 If the signature is not of an authorized official, the requisition should be sent back to the respective department/section. 1.6 The site material requests are pre-numbered and come in duplicate, distributed as follows. Original copy, issuing store. Duplicate, receiving department or book. 1.7 Check the availability of material requested, create STO to request from other store which has the items or create PR. 1.8 When issuing, you will need to be aware of item or material code. Quantity, how many items are being issued. Subinventory, if there is a need, like for example asset. Unit of measure of the item you are issuing. Which account are these goods being paid for if this is a direct issue? Reference documents. 1.9. Pick the material from the storage area. 1.10. Place items at the staging area for further inspection and confirmation. 1.11. The storekeeper and the recipient of goods must agree that the goods requisitioned from stores are inconsistent with the original request. Any deviation must be accompanied by separate documents. 1.12. Once the items in stores have been issued, the stores should process the issuances in SAP without undue delay to prevent inventory problem of imbalances. 1.13. Scan and attach the material request and MIN copies in SAP against material document. 1.14. Accomplish MIN with details. Name, ID number, date and signature of both storekeeper and receiver. Photocopy of MIN must be provided to the receiver. 1.15. Keep hard copies of MIN and accompanying documents on file. Receiving used tools method. 1.1. Receive power or hand tools from other project stores along with the corresponding gate pass. 1.2. Count if gate pass quantity and actual number received are the same. Any discrepancies must be noted. Visually inspect, with the representative from source project store, all tools to ascertain the present condition of the returned tools. 1.3. Carefully inspect and run the power tools and listen to the motor. If it sounds bad, then repair it. 1.4. Make sure cords and plugs are not frayed and blade guards and other safety equipment should all be on the tool and intact before making them available for reuse. 1.5. Sign the receiving gate pass copy according to the quantity and condition of tools as received, countersigned by the source project storekeeper. 1.6. Send irreparable tools to Jubail. 1.7. Update the receiving WH's internal Excel file for received used tools. 1.8. Perform the necessary repair or parts replacement of any tool that show defects as soon as possible to avoid the risks of creating defective output. 1.9. Pack, protect, and store the repaired tools in their respective location. 1.10. Communicate with the WH SAP coordinator in order for these tools to be uploaded in SAP. 1.11. Issue used tools in good working condition to project stores which may require them. Goods stacking and storing method. A. Stacking. 7.1. Keep a stack of rectangular boxes from falling over by each layering them in at least two distinct directions. 7.2. Keep different items and packages in different stacks. 7.3. Ensure that expiring goods can be rotated if necessary. Rotate or turn products over on a regular basis. 7.4. Ensure that all stacks are accessible and little to no obstruction to bins in order to apply the FIFO principle. 7.5. Limit stack sizes to a maximum of 3 by 3 meters to prevent floor load, walkway obstruction, and pressure damage to boxes or content in the stack of goods. 7.6. Determine the height of stack by the type of goods and their packaging to ensure safe storage and handling for warehouse employees. 7.7. Send damaged goods to red tag area, repack, transfer, or issue first if they are usable. 7.8. Separate items intended for food use away from other supplies to avoid contamination. 7.9. Stack upright bundles containing cans or bottles. 7.10. Elevate products from the warehouse floor to prevent moisture. 7.11. Avoid stacking items against walls or supports which may weaken the structure and eventually may be the cause of building to collapse. 7.12. Seek the assistance of your warehouse or safety in charge for the appropriate stacking limit in your store. 7.13. Assign trained stackers who is familiar with stacking, rather than any employees. B. Storing. 7.14. Immediately following the receipt and inspection, make sure that all supplies are stocked and placed in the designated area bins and racks under the supervision of the storekeeper. 7.15 In stores servicing multiple projects, each project inventory should have their own designated place in the warehouse. 7.16 Products should be stored to have optimized flow when picking. Fast mover closer, etc. ABC methods. 7.17 All products should be stored according to their material numbers in a way that allows for first in, first out, FIFO, and first expiry, first out, FIFO, issuing. 7.18 Cartons/boxes should be labeled with the date received and the project. They should be carefully sorted, with the oldest products on top of stacks and the most recently purchased goods at the bottom. 7.19 Lists of slow-moving, expired, outdated, and goods with expiration dates of less than 6 months should be generated periodically and given to project heads for action. 7.20 To allow the floor to be swept and washed, all objects should be stored off the floor in aisles. The goods that are used the most should be kept close to the staging area or within easy reach. 7.21 Do not lean items against the rack's edges. 7.22 Place product family together as much as possible as the layout or racking system permits. 7.23 Before placing items with broken cartons on racks and pallets, repair and repack them. 7.24 Place the stocks in the allocated bins with the forklift operator. 7.25 Keep all products at the proper temperature and avoid exposing them to direct sunlight. 7.26 Keep an eye on the temperature and keep track of it on a daily basis. 7.27 Make sure the roof isn't leaking to maintain the quality of the goods. 7.28 Keep the storage area tidy and clean and keep the aisles clear so the stacker can move about freely and people and equipment can pass through. 7.29 Disinfect the storage room and spray for insects, rats, and other hazardous microorganisms that could endanger the supplies and the staff's health. 7.30 Store fuels, lubricants and other hazardous substances in a separate temperature-controlled, well-ventilated building and a protected area. 7.31 Update the bin cards for each item at the appropriate warehouse location. 7.32 Perform a physical count on a daily, weekly, quarterly, and annual basis to detect inventory imbalances. Replacing defective car battery method. 6.1 Receive from the driver replacement form of the defective battery to your warehouse facility. 6.2 Verify the form and all pertinent documents and confirm the battery's eligibility for a return. The most common proof is an MTN with corresponding GRMIN if already issued by Project Store. The receiving form details the exact time and date of delivery, and remarks signed by the person who has accepted the goods. 6.3 Check and record the number of delivered material that the carrier has unloaded. Missing items should be noted and communicated accordingly. 6.4 Check for additional conditions. The original packaging, serial number, and warranty card have to be intact. The battery shall not go beyond its warranty period. 6.5 Conduct an immediate visual examination of each individual item, looking for obvious damage. 6.6 Send the item back to the store without accepting the returned battery if the receiving store suspects the battery may have been tampered. 6.7 Approve or disapprove the replacement. 6.8 Confirm eligibility of returned battery. 6.9 Note down the reasons for replacement. 6.10 Place the battery for replacement in its special location separate from the prime batteries. 6.11 Ensure great care is taken in the storage of returned batteries against further damage. 6.12 Contact the vendor of any damage or condition and to return the faulty battery and request replacement or credit note through the procurement department as immediately as possible. 6.13 Inform the project storekeeper to pick up the item or once the replacement of the returned battery arrives to your warehouse. Make sure that the receiving store picks up the new battery in not more than 7 days, from CHWs. 6.14 Maintain records of the battery replacement delivered by the vendor, including but not limited to delivery notes. 6.15 Document the release to the project storekeeper of new battery. The receiver must sign the acknowledgement of receipt. Returning of surplus goods to central warehouse method. 1.10 Source Store. 1.10.1 Determine item category and forward the item to the following concern area for proper inspection. General Materials, Warehouse Department. Electrical Items, Electrical Department. 1.10.2 Inspect the condition and expiry dates of the items that have been returned. 1.10.3 Deny receipt for goods that are expired and in bad condition with full details such as material code, description, and quantity. 1.10.4 Return goods in your plant code following the below steps. Note, this process is also termed as cancellation of goods issue. Determine and list down excess materials. Get the material document number generated when the goods issue was performed for these items subject for return, either from the hard copies or through MB51. Go to MB51. Type material code, plant code, and movement type 201, posting date and click execute. Copy the material document number. Otherwise, copy the material document number from the printed MIN or material issue note on file. Go to NEGO. Choose Cancellation, then Material Document from the drop-down list. Type or paste material document number in the space provided. Press Enter. Menu for document year will appear. Choose the current year, e.g. 2022. In the Detail Data section, select the material code subject for returns by ticking the small box. Click Check at the upper left side, then Post. Save the document. The materials have now been returned to the project store plant code. Printing is optional. If printing the document is required, copy the document number and use it in NEGO Forms to print. Go to NEGO Forms. Type the document number generated after goods cancellation. Type the current year, e.g. 2022. Select Print. If prompted, press OK to proceed printing. 1.11 Receiving Warehouse. 1.11.1 Receive information through email from other project stores about goods to be returned. 1.11.2 Conduct spot check for the items in the presence of the source store representative. 1.11.3 Store supervisor shall also conduct an immediate visual examination of the packaging of each received item, looking for obvious damage and expiration as well for products with expiry date. 1.11.4 Deny receipt of goods with broken seals or obviously opened or used items. 1.11.5 Check the related MTN, STO, and SAP material document printout as a result of SAP return procedures for reference only. 1.11.6 Along with necessary documentation, physically receive the returned goods. 1.11.7 Create STO, Ref, WIWH003 creating stock transfer order against received quantity. 1.11.8 Get the newly MTN generated by the source project store. 1.11.9 Process goods receipt against STO, 6.8.1 of PRWH003 goods receipt. January 11/10 Scan and attach the goods receipt copies in SAP against material document. January 11/11 Print name, ID number, date and signature of both source storekeeper and receiver. January 11/12 Provide the project storekeeper copies of documents. January 11/13 Keep hard copies of MIN and accompanying documents on file. January 11/14 Store the goods as per appropriate storage conditions of respective product if goods are considered in good condition. Leave request procedure. 1.1 Employee and concerned warehouse/project store. Employee fills out all necessary fields on request form. Double check that all details are correct. 1.2 The concerned warehouse or project store. 1.2.1 Immediate supervisor/in charge determines availability of leave prior to routing the leave request. 1.2.2 Once confirmed approved, the supervisor or warehouse in charge notifies the employee and asks him to submit the documents listed in bullets. Accomplished request form. Copy. Passport copy. Warehouse Handover Checklist. Undertaking Letter. 1.2.3 Accomplish the handover form and all other pertinent documents, completed and signed, including SAP Inventory vs Physical Check, STO in Transit, to and from, Pending GR, Pending GI/MIS, Pending PR, SAP ID, List of physical material not in SAP, Documents and filing, hard and soft copies, Computer password and store keys, Undertaking letter completed and signed. 1.2.4 Send all documents to Regional Manager for review and initial approval. 1.3 The Regional Manager. 1.3.1 Approves leave request only if all documents are completed and attached, rejects if incomplete. If rejected, the form is sent back to the concerned warehouse or project store for completion, additional information, or modification. 1.3.2 Should double-check all documents. 1.3.3 Document checklist must be completed and signed by Regional Manager. 1.3.4 All documents must be attached. 1.3.5 Notifies SAP team for employee SAP ID to be transferred onto replacement or frozen for duration of vacation. Notifies relevant parties to close accounts should employee go on exit. To close SAP user ID, send email to 6. Once approved, all documents must be forwarded to Warehouse Department Office for final approval. 1.4 The Warehouse Department Office. 1.4.1 Head of Department will only accept request with finalized documentation. 1.4.2 After final approval, requests will be uploaded onto SAP by the Office Administrator. 1.4.3 Notes. SAP notifications will be generated to be approved by specified department. Warehouse Department will approve warehouse employees, etc. Leave request will be followed up by departments. 1.5 During the course of approval process. 1.5.1 The warehouse in charge or store supervisor. To counter-check for any possible lapses in the submission that may happen during the course of leave approval. Done 2 weeks before the last day of duty of the vacationing/exiting employee. Follow 5.2.3 once again. To recheck handover checklist for possible issues. If there are any, issues should be rectified at once. To collect all items or assets that belong to the company assigned to the vacationing employee must be returned to the regional administrator. To resubmit the latest, final handover checklist to Regional Manager for reference. Functions of a Warehouse Country Manager. 1.1 Manage and monitor stock levels. 1.2 Control the movement of materials. 1.3 Supervise line management. 1.4 Establish a trusting relationship with warehouse staff. 1.5 Set productivity goals and create communication systems within the warehouse department. 1.6 Stay up to date on safety regulations. 1.7 Attend industry conferences and seek additional learning opportunities. 1.8 Periodically conduct inventory reviews. 1.9 Review department budget. 1.10 Inspire with passion within and across management and teams. 1.11 Liaise with other department management and present and write up quarterly/annual reports to executives. 1.12 Recruit and assess new staff as well as motivate and discipline them. 1.13 Maintain a good image of the organization in the industry at all times. 1.14 Establish warehouse practices and protocols to achieve efficiency. Functions of a regional manager. 1.1 Assist the country manager in achieving business goals and targets. 1.2 Oversee daily operations, manage budgets, and set performance targets. 1.3 Recruit, train, and support the country manager, as well as conduct regular performance reviews. 1.4 Develop and implement department plans. 1.5 plan, evaluate, and optimize operations to be efficient and cost-effective. 1.6. Ensure compliance with quality standards, company standards, and procedures. 1.7. Prepare and present statements, analyses, and reports of operations and finances on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. 1.8. Deal with escalated employee issues, incident reports, and legal actions. 1.9. Coordinate and comply with internal audit observational requirement and input. 1.10. Strategically manage stores in compliance with company's policies and guidelines. 1.11. Visit stores regularly and set focus points with store employees. 1.12. Attend monthly meetings and ensure alignment with colleagues in terms of goals. 1.13. Lead and motivate team to work to their full potential every day in accordance with our leadership and company principles. 1.14. Ensure store compliance with health and safety regulations. 1.15. Discuss issues, changes, or improvements with Opex manager. 1.16. Create an environment where colleagues can produce their best work. 1.17. Ensure FIVES is practiced and maintained. 1.18. Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Essential functions of an Opex manager. 1.1. This role will lead health and safety initiatives and development of a work health and safety (WHS) culture in the kingdom. 1.2. Coordinate WHS activities across the different warehouses and stores and contribute to the development and implementation of plans regarding key health and safety strategies. Recommend operational and business requirements to support those strategic objectives for continuous improvement, meeting legislation and/or code requirements and supporting best practice principles. 1.3. Monthly management reporting on the status of the WHS program. 1.4. Doing risk assessments on all current and any new project stores to ensure safe working environment and assess risks associated with tools and equipment, job sites, and work environments. 1.5. Review the circumstances of any work injury, illness, and dangerous events, identify any corrective action and request any additional resources or assistance required to undertake this corrective action. 1.6. Works with the warehouse country manager to develop, implement, and maintain a WHS safety management system aligned with current standards and ensure ongoing compliance and continuous improvement. This will require developing health and safety policies and procedures. 1.7. Ensure companies/facilities have adequate fire protection equipment, that they have current validation and training of wardens and staff is ongoing. Coordinate the activities of the first aiders to ensure there is adequate coverage and their training is appropriate and current. Ensure there are first aid kits and other equipment available, that they are complete and current, including that personal protective equipment where required has been provided, staff trained and/or instructed on the usage, and that they comply. 1.8. Ensure that any dangerous goods or materials are correctly stored and the appropriate MSDS are available, and staff trained in handling the goods and any potential spills. 1.9. Training and initiating of FIVES and other lean methodologies throughout all warehouses and stores. 1.10. Assist with internal and external audits to ensure compliance with the WHS safety management system and relevant legislation. Essential functions of an Opex administrator. 1.1. Create and control documentation related to all warehouse functions. 1.2. Conduct training on created processes. 1.3. Coordinate WHS activities across the different warehouses and stores and contribute to the development and implementation of plans regarding key health and safety strategies. 1.4. Recommend operational and business requirements to support those strategic objectives for continuous improvement, meeting legislation and/or code requirements and supporting best practice principles. 1.5. Works with the warehouse country manager to develop, implement, and maintain a WHS safety management system aligned with current standards and ensure ongoing compliance and continuous improvement. This will require developing health and safety policies and procedures. 1.6. Ensure companies/facilities have adequate fire protection equipment, that they have current validation, and training of wardens and staff is ongoing. 1.7.
coordinate the activities of the first aiders to ensure coverage is adequate, training is appropriate and current.
1.8. Ensure that filled first aid kits are up to date, and other equipment like PPE are available to staff. 1.9. Make sure all staff are given proper training and safety instruction and comply with SWP requirements. 1.10. Ensure that any dangerous goods or materials are correctly stored and the appropriate MSDS are available, and staff trained in handling the goods and any potential spills. 1.11. Training and initiating of FIVEs and other lean methodologies throughout all warehouses and stores.
1.12. Assist with internal and external audits to ensure compliance. Essential functions of a regional inventory controller.
1.1. Execute inventory management procedures and all transactions, i.e., receipts, issuance, inventory, and storing stocks in allocated bins.
1.2. Develop and implement inventory control systems and practices. 1.3. Forecast demand requirements to ensure stock availability. 1.4. Prepare summary reports, inform the regional stores, regional manager on operations on a regular basis and follow management instructions. 1.5. Identify issues and practices on a daily/weekly/monthly basis and address them or notify management. 1.6. Identify and classify A/B/C categories of items and spares parts, slow-moving and non-moving spares, dead stocks to reduce the inventory and costs. 1.7. Ensure stores' compliance with health and safety regulations.
1.8. Monitor inventory levels and replenish stock as needed.
1.9. Liaise and negotiate with vendors and suppliers to ensure the quality of stock purchases.
1.10. Coordinate the logistics of purchase orders, stock transfers, and deliveries.
1.11. Track inbound and outbound orders to prevent overstocking and out of stock. 1.12. Perform regular stock checks and report any issues to the supervisor.
1.13. May maintain and update records of purchase orders, pricing reports, and inventory records. 1.14. To ensure accurate inventory levels and eliminate variances between actual stock and SAP quantities. 1.15. Ensure FIVEs is practiced and maintained.
1.16. Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Essential functions of an office administrator. 1.1. Perform general admin duties.
1.2. Consolidate timesheets and capture monthly timesheets on SAP.
1.3. Involve in general staff-related HR issues.
1.4. Do materials receiving, unloading, physical verification of goods and delivery notes and making goods receipt, GR, in SAP system in a timely manner. 1.5. Ensure proper filling system is always maintained and documents scanned and attached in SAP system.
1.6. Update of all goods issues in SAP on daily basis.
1.7. Keep track of all incoming and outgoing of materials. 1.8. Follow up for non-moving/dead stock and report to higher authority.
1.9. Coordinate with all departments.
1.10. Prepare purchase requests and stock transfer order in SAP. 1.11. Follow 5S practices in warehouse and follow up with cleanliness of the warehouse facility and tidiness of materials.
1.12. Contribute to team effort by accomplishing related tasks as need. Essential functions of a warehouse in charge.
1.1. Track and manage inventory levels for all essential items in the stores.
1.2. Analyze and plan for inventory requirements, monitor inventory levels, and order new items. 1.3. Distribute the supplies as needed per the project location.
1.4. Plan and supervise warehouse operations such as receiving, storage, and used item return, inventory control, and inbound shipment monitoring. 1.5. Ensure that correct stock records are maintained.
1.6. Ensure store compliance with health and safety regulations.
1.7. Prepare and send a weekly, monthly, or annual store stock report to management.
1.8. Liaise and negotiate with vendors and suppliers to ensure the quality of stock purchases. 1.9 Track inbound and outbound orders to prevent overstocking and out of stock.
1.10 Formulate plans for obtaining tires, car batteries, spares, tools, and consumables. 1.11 Interact with user departments in order to analyze the content requested. 1.12 Oversee logistics and negotiate with transporters for cost-effective transportation and clearances. 1.13 Determine the manpower requirements in compliance with company standards and policies. 1.14 Lead and inspire teams to ensure their career growth and positive contribution to the organization. Execute performance strategies and measurements. 1.15 Provide training inputs to employees at various levels in order to improve their efficiencies, execute their specific job functions, and meet deadlines. 1.16 Must also be detail-oriented, achieve inventory accuracy, coordinate orders, and be comfortable working with a number of different brands and products. 1.17 Report warehouse and staff performance and concerns to regional manager. 1.18 Strong communication both with customers and team members is essential. 1.19 Ensure FIVES is practiced and maintained. 1.20 Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management.
Essential functions of a store supervisor. 1.1 Supervise warehouse personnel and activities on a daily basis. 1.2 Create and oversee team's workflow or the tasks required to complete a job. 1.3 Define goals, communicate objectives, and monitor team performance. 1.4 Manage continuous training for all employees, new and old. 1.5 Track and organize products and material receipt, storage, and timely delivery. 1.6 Create SAP PR to order goods and keep adequate inventories on hand.
May delegate this to the competent person in the organization in your absence.
1.7 Observe the warehouse grounds on a daily basis.
1.8 Coordinate vehicle and equipment maintenance if applicable in the area.
1.9 Closely communicate with other stores if needed.
1.10 Check for accuracy in purchase orders, delivery notes, and delivered goods.
1.11 Maintain proper documentation and reports. Be able to produce any paperwork that may be required by the warehouse department or internal audit section. 1.12 Ensure that safety work procedures, SWP, are met, which includes FIVES methodology, health and safety practices. 1.13 Conduct staff meetings on safety practices every Thursdays, and general concern in 5S on daily stand-up meetings. 1.14 Assume accountability and ensure transparency in all delegated responsibilities. 1.15 Ensure proper filing and document keeping as per department standard. 1.16 Conduct cross-checking for physical inventory and SAP to eliminate any deviations. 1.17 Conduct daily cycle counting with a minimum of 10 to 20 items or as per required by the regional inventory controller. 1.18 Ensure FIVES is practiced and maintained. 1.19 Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Essential functions of a storekeeper. 1.1 Assume the role of warehouse supervisor in absence.
1.2 Prepare material inspection report for received goods. 1.3 Allocate bins for received materials in proper location. 1.4 Ensure proper filling system is maintained and documents scanned and attached in SAP system. 1.5 Issue material according to material request from project and ensure issuance documents are signed by approving signatories.
1.6 Receive, store, order, and issue materials on inventory. Once received, identify and label goods. 1.7 Update of all goods issues and goods receipts in SAP on time.
1.8 Provide directions for loading and unloading material, supplies, and other objects onto and off of delivery vehicles, pallets, and lifting devices. 1.9 Keep track of all incoming and outgoing materials. 1.10 Maintain and update bin cards for all the items in the storage rooms/area. 1.11 Identify and segregate expired stocks. 1.12 Follow-up for non-moving/dead stock and report to higher authority. 1.13 Conduct perpetual inventory of minimum 10 materials randomly on daily basis as well as perform cycle count. 1.14 Prepare of gate passes for all returnable/non-returnable materials from stores. 1.15 Keep track for returnable gate pass materials and report to superior. 1.16 Complete shift report if working on a shifting schedule, closely coordinate with other shift employees. 1.17 Prepare of purchase requests and stock transfer order in SAP. 1.18 Follow 5S practices in warehouse and follow up with cleanliness of the warehouse facility and tidiness of materials. 1.19 Safeguard warehouse operations and contents by establishing and monitoring security procedures and protocols. 1.20 Examine new equipment and materials for compliance with specifications. 1.21 Answers questions about items in stock from other store personnel and officials. 1.22 Instruct different warehouse housekeeping chores, such as sweeping work areas, small furniture repair, and scrap material transferring. 1.23 Contribute to team effort by accomplishing related tasks as need. 1.24 Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Essential functions of an assistant storekeeper. 1.1 Assist storekeeper with materials receiving, unloading, physical verification of goods and delivery notes. 1.2 Visually inspection of received goods for damages/shortages and reporting to storekeeper. 1.3 Identify/label material codes for received goods. 1.4 Allocate received materials in proper racks location. 1.5 Ensure proper filling system is always maintained as per requirement from storekeeper. 1.6 Issue material according to material request from project and ensuring issuance document is signed by approved signatories. 1.7 Assist storekeeper in keeping track of all incoming and outgoing of materials. 1.8 Identify and segregate expired stocks. 1.9 Conduct perpetual inventory to minimum of 10 materials randomly on daily basis as required by storekeeper. 1.10 Coordinate with all departments. 1.11 Follow 5S practices in warehouse and follow up with cleanliness of the warehouse facility and tidiness of materials. 1.12 Safeguard warehouse operation and contents as per warehouse requirement. 1.13 Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Essential functions of a forklift operator. 1.1 Keep up with new ordinances, health, and safety regulations to make a work environment safer. 1.2 Wear the proper PPE to protect you and others in the event of the accident. 1.3 Identify workplace safety hazards. 1.4 Navigate a warehouse or store area to move goods around. 1.5 Picking and wrapping orders for shipment. 1.6 Load and unload materials from various vehicles, ensure the safe and efficient movement of goods. 1.7 Clean up clutter as seen on the work floor to ensure a debris-free and safe work area. 1.8 Check forklifts regularly and before every shift for malfunctions or just general routine maintenance. 1.9 Know load limits and optimize loads for efficient operation. 1.10 Know when and where inventory in each pallet of materials need to be moved to, identify what items are and where they go. 1.11 Note inventory discrepancies and report any damaged materials or replacements needed. 1.12 Track inventory, inspect goods before and after shipping to identify imperfections or damage and make the necessary report to the warehouse in charge. 1.13 Follow 5's method. 1.14 Perform general store duties when forklift is not in use. 1.15 Perform other related tasks as may be assigned by the management. Let me reiterate that these SOPs and job description are not meant to be a comprehensive summary of the requirements, abilities, efforts, tasks, obligations, or working circumstances related to the role. It is important that you know what your organization requires and write only what perfectly match your needs.
We have come to the end of this video.
Please type your comment below, hit the like icon, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell button so you will not miss our uploaded videos on warehousing and workplace English lessons.